Great. What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Christian fighting game community where we glorify Jesus, the truth of his word, and his gospel throughout fighting games and the fighting game community. As always, man, I appreciate y'all for coming through and supporting like y'all have been, and showing love to the channel and whatnot. Back with another episode of Jesus Take the Stick, y'all. I'm so excited for the lesson that we have ahead of us. If you wasn't here for the last episode, it was basically on, going against the hardest CPU to kind of get the game flow, get the game speed, get used to that, while also working on stuff like our BNBs, anti-airs, and block strings, whatever the case may be. So if you haven't seen that episode, I encourage you to watch it before you watch this episode. As I say, I want this series to be kind of a documentation of how we're growing in the game and how we're getting better or whatnot. So with that being said, y'all, we're just gonna get right into it. But before we do, we gotta hit that verse of the episode, which is gonna be Luke chapter 14, verse 11. So Luke chapter 14, 11 reads this: "For whoever exalts himself will be humble, and he who humbles himself will be exalted." So I'm pretty sure y'all heard the saying, pride comes before the fall. And that's basically what this verse is saying here. He who exalts himself will be humble. Oftentimes in movies or whatnot, you see people become so prideful, and then it takes one thing to mess them up because they know everything. They think they know everything. They think they know what they're talking about. But then somebody tries to warn them about something, and because they're prideful and so boastful, they can't even hear. They can't even take the advice because they're like, no, it's my way or the highway, and I know all, And then unfortunately, they end up in a demise of some sort. We want to be humble. The humble will get exalted. In movies and stuff. Likewise, you'll see people like the lowliest stuff like that. The people that are in the closet doing good deeds but not out there with it. You see somebody coming to the forefront and bigging that person up and acknowledging that person. And that's what Jesus does for us. Not that we come to Jesus to be exalted, but we want to be humble because we want to be like him. Jesus, this was God in the flesh. He had every right to be proud. This is the creator. He chose to come down in a way that showed such humility. People thought he was supposed to be some type of war general and it was going to take out all the Romans and whatnot. But no, he didn't come in that way. He came in such a way that people would look at him and be like, what? You from Nazareth? Likewise, we want to do the same when it comes to these fighting games. Like, we want to go in with humility, understanding that we don't know everything, understanding that there will be losses, instead of going into stuff like, what, we should be winning and, oh, we all that, or when we lose, we don't correct ourselves because we're so prideful and we think, oh, the opponent just playing scrubby. Pretty sure y'all heard that before, but that being said, man, let's get into it. So just like I told y'all in the last episode, before we start these things, we always want to have a goal. So by the end of the episode, we can say, okay, we reached this goal or we didn't reach this goal and what we need to do in order to reach it. So the goal of this episode is going to be simple. It's just going to be play a 1st to 3 set in online casual matches. And the objective is not to necessarily win the 1st to 3. It's more so just to get in there and play. And what this is going to help us with is getting over our fear of losing to be able to learn. So oftentimes when I think about online rank specifically, I always think about, oh, I want to keep my rank and I don't want to lose. I want to save face so it can look like I'm good. All those things I shouldn't care about, right? But I do have the temptation even now to care about those things. So what this is going to do, especially in the beginning phase, is like we're just throwing ourselves in, and that's one reason why we're starting off with casuals and not going straight to rank. We want to be able to get over our fear of losing because I really want to learn this game and I don't want the fear of losing to override, because there's been some cases in the past where the fear of losing is so much to where I don't even play the game no more. I don't even enjoy it because I'm so anxious, so I just drop it. And we don't want to do this with the game. I told y'all this is our dream game. We don't want to do this with that. So that's what the purpose of these 1st to 3 casuals is going to serve. Just throwing ourselves in there, going back to the verse, just being humble enough to say, hey, we might get beat up. We might get hooked. I don't know what online about to look like right now, but that mindset helps us to be able to learn what we have to work on. With that being said, before we get into matches, I want to go over kind of some learning lessons that we had per the last episode. Let's get into it. All right, y'all. So just a few learning lessons from the last episode. So 1, anti-air. We want to get better with our anti-air, down heavy, right? So a lot of times on the last episode, what you were seeing that people just super dashing on me, and sometimes I wouldn't react. I was getting better as the episode was going on, but I need to get better at that. Second thing is just using assist to get in. So So this ain't gonna work. I already know. I was doing this a lot on the last episode, just trying to super dash in because, you know, I would panic. I wouldn't know how to get in. If I try to get in, I'll get exploded and whatnot. But again, we want to humble ourselves, knowing that we're not good at that. We want to go into these casuals to get good in that. You know, this is the point of this episode, is to get better at things like that. So what you might see this episode is me just, you know, using those to get in, or, you know, I guess it would be a sub goal to try to use this as minimal as we can, especially for full screen. So the next thing we're going to talk about is meter management. First of all, shout out to the YouTube comments because this comes from them. There was a comment that mentioned how I wasn't taking advantage and finish them off when I had the meter. So that's just something we have to learn in general, just to be able to get used to that, because I am not good with meter management at the beginning of the games. It always happens. I do a combo and I'm just doing the super because I'm like, well, I think I got the super, so I'm gonna do it. And most of the times, unfortunately, it works like that for me. But I need to actually be paying attention to my meter, especially when it comes to this game, because you don't want to leave nobody alive in this game, because they can come back. So, you know, just taking advantage of when I know I have to kill, looking at my meter, making sure, and just, you know, using all my resources to be able to get that kill. Before we get into the matches, man, I also learned some new combos, man. So let's get into it. The point of me showing y'all these combos is not to say, oh, look at me. Y'all heard what the verse said about being prideful. We don't want to do that. I told y'all on the last one, it's building blocks like the BNBs. The point of those was to have a foundation we can build upon. So this is now showing you, like, hey, what that next block looks like for me. So with that being said, when it comes to base Vegeta, it's basically the same BNB as I showed y'all last time, but different. I want to show y'all. Okay, so with that one, the whole point I was thinking of is to try to find a way to get a hard knockdown after that. So as you can see, when I used the assist, it got that hard knockdown, so I could set up some type of ulti. We ain't got that far yet. This one is probably completely different from the B&B, but I thought it was cool, so. So as you can see, that gives us like a hard knockdown, not a hard knockdown, but it gives us some type of a hard knockdown again, so we can set up our next interaction and hopefully get a hit and finish him off. So with my boy Blue Vegeta, he's still, you know, a work in progress. We haven't went over anything. I don't think I've updated any of his combos like that, but we did find out a new corner combo I wanted to show y'all. Again, something slight, but it gives us a hard knockdown. And also, if you want to go into a super and stuff like that, it works out. So those are new combos, y'all. So with that being said, man, let's get into these matches.
Here comes a mighty warrior. This should be a great fight.
All right, y'all. Let's go. Let's get it. Man, he got me. Can't do that. Dang. Okay, okay. Okay. Anti-air. I did my down heavy, y'all. Let's just get the hard knockdown. Finish mode. Let's go. Meter management. I did try to dash in crazy. I gotta get better. I gotta get better, y'all. Okay. Oh, Dylan. Okay. Got some stuff to clean up on. A-Town stomp. Armor? I gotta get out of here. But when he was looking for that, that was obvious probably. That was obvious. I'm getting cooked in this corner right now. I got cooked in that corner. Oh, how did I drop that? That's my fault. That was a dead character. That's on me. That's a low? Bro, I keep doing the wrong special, y'all. Up. Because I'm pressing. I just need to wait. I just need to wait. Great. Good one. Wrong combo again, y'all. I ain't have to do that. I could have did the level 1, y'all. Whoa. Be patient. 2-1, 2-1. Keep dropping the combo, y'all. Okay. Drop the combo. That could have been death. Alright, we won, but we got some work to do, y'all. Y'all, how raw would it have been if I would have finished off the set with that combo without dropping? Like I had it, y'all. That goes into our meter management. I was ready and everything, but we dropped the combo, y'all, which goes into our first lesson. We need to get more consistent at these combos. I mean, the combo I was doing with Super Saiyan Vegeta, to where I used the fireball move, I kept doing the dang knee uppercut thing. You know, I don't know what that was. I kept doing the wrong move, and that's why it's important to encompass ourselves in the casual matches. We need to keep doing it so we can get used to the casual speed. Maybe some of it come from nervousness, you know, doing the combo and be like, like, oh, online, I want to take this opportunity and whatnot. I don't know. Regardless of the situation, we need to get more consistent. So that'll be like a homework assignment for us for the next episode. That was annoying. Like that, like the set could have ended off so beautiful if we would have hit that. But another thing, we need to learn how to anti-air the vanish more. He was doing like a lot of vanishes in his block strings, and I wasn't ready for it, so he would get me every time. So I need to do that. There was some good things. Like I always want to take away the good things. First of all, we did, y'all. We succeeded the mission. We got in here and played a first to 3 set in casuals. We knocked off that fear, the anxiousness, and I had fun. Like I enjoyed that set. Like despite of what was going on and whatnot, I really enjoyed that set. So that's a win for us. Also, we anti-aired with down heavy a couple dashes. We didn't do all of them, of course. That'll just get better with time, but we anti-aired some dashes. Like I said, we just need to do better anti-airing the vanishes. We blocked, we was patient, because one time he put us up in that corner. So from now on, I just blocked, waited for the perfect opportunity. Speaking of blocking, one thing I can work on too is better block streams. As you saw that one time, I had him in the corner. I kept doing the same block stream. I wasn't opening them up. Again, that's going to come better with time as I get better with the game and the game flow and, you know, mechanics and whatnot and offense and all that good stuff. So we were using like assists to get in. Now, we did have some moments, y'all. We slipped up and dashed. I will admit that. But again, all of this is going to get better, y'all. Like one day, y'all going to see me where I'm not super dashing across the screen. But we did slip up a couple times in here and did it. But we also was intentional about like using assists. Like some moments you saw us use some assists and we actually got hits, but we just didn't convert it, which is the next step we'll focus on. We were intentional about dashing instead of like just super dashing, because sometimes some of my hits came from me just dashing forward and stuff and just waiting for him to land right under me and then punish him. I'm seeing the fruits of learning your movement in this game and just being patient with the movement. I think the name of this game is who can get the first hit. We want to just take those things we work on, get in the lab, do more casual matches. We can walk off being proud, you know, not proud of what we done today. This is a community thing and I want to grow together and I want y'all to see my growth episode from episode. So please, I'm calling on y'all to help me. For experts and non-experts out there, anybody, if you just see something in my gameplay that needs work on, please just chat up on the YouTube description and I can take that and use that to help my gameplay in this game get better. So with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and close out the episode. All right, y'all, that's gonna be it for this episode. Before we close, I just want to extend the invitation out to our Discord community. The link is in the YouTube description below. If you like this community, if you want to be a part of it, you want to have some fun playing some fighting games and learning about Jesus, please feel free to just hit that link and join up the community, man. Believers and non-believers all are welcome. So with that being said, man, that's gonna be it for us today. Stay tuned for the next episode and remember that Jesus loves you, and this is the Christian Fighting Game community where we glorify him, truth in his word and his gospel throughout fighting games and the fighting game community. See y'all later.